You're listening to Drinks and a Movie with your host, Rudy. Spoiler alert.
All right, here we go, everyone. Welcome to Drinks and a Movie podcast. I'm back here with co-host Carissa. Jesus.
He drank whiskey.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the 2024 Palme d'Or winner, Anora, directed by Sean Baker, starring, what's her name? Mickey Madison, right?
Mickey Madison.
In a star-turning performance, I might say. So you're still, having at the wine right now. What do you got? Anything particular or special?
All right. I think it's called Como's. It's from Trader Joe's. It is the yummiest Sauv Blanc I've had in a very long time.
Oh, there you go.
$8.99 a bottle.
Hell yeah. I should have gotten into wine.
Right? I'm like, it would have been a little cheaper, maybe.
Yeah. But it's like when you do, because I definitely can get down with some red wines, white not so much. And with the red ones, the one thing though is like once you open them, they got a short shelf life, so you gotta put them away. But yeah, for this one, just a tiny bit. I don't like to mix whiskey and tequila, but I'm about to drink one of the best tequilas I've ever had in my life. Everybody, this is Tequila Ocho, single barrel Tequila Ocho Anejo. Single barrel in collaboration with Louie's liquor store out in Azusa. This one is coming in at 54.5 ABV. Single barrel tequila, man. Again, Anejo. Yeah, we're going for it. Let's taste it. If you saw my video with my friend Chris recently, you saw us do a whole kind of long tasting of a bunch of mezcals and stuff that I got from Louie's liquor. And this store picked tequila is like one of the best things I've ever had. So let's go in real quick. Agave. A little bit of that pepper, but very refined. You definitely get a little bit of the sweet oak characteristic. Just a hint, it's an Anejo, so it's only been in there so long. But yeah, here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Delicious.
And it is great. Like a fair amount of spice. It goes down super easy for 115 proof or whatever it is. You get a hint of that like caramel sweetness that is imparted from the oak. A little hint of a teeny tiny bit of fresh vanilla. Again, not flavoring. This is all coming from the barrel. Right. With just that really nice pure agave flavor and that kind of pepperiness that sometimes comes along with it. I'm not too knowledgeable on like the flavor notes when it comes to tequila. That's probably the best I can hit you with. But I will say I've had many tequilas in my life. One of the best ones, if not the best one, probably being Fortaleza Winter Blend from the past. But this is right up there with it. I think I'm going to blind taste them soon. This one is an absolute hitter. For anyone who's into tequila or has any kind of, interest, go check out Louie's Liquor. They really kind of specialize. They got everything. It's a liquor store, but they really specialize in tequila and mezcals. And they got a lot of interesting store picks in the agave category over there. So go check them out. Great folks. And yeah, if there's something else I can say real quick, I forgot to say this for Nosferatu. And this warmed my heart. It's December 26th that we record this. And Nelson's Greenbrier, right? The folks that we did the spec ads for, they sent me a Christmas card. They sent Drinks and Movie Podcast.
Oh my God, how cute.
From them. I felt so good. It really warmed my heart, like I said. Home of the original adorable Tennessee whiskey. So thank you all in Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery. It means a lot. I just think that's super cool that they even thought to do that. Like, wow, you guys sent me a Christmas card. So
that's adorable.
Yeah. So cheers to you all over there in Tennessee. And yeah, man, I was almost going to pour one of those bottles too. Maybe I should have, but here we go.
I got a kid who wants someone who speaks Russian.
My Russian is terrible. I can't even roll my R's.
No.
Я просто хотел тебе предложить. Ты хочешь быть эксклюзивно со мной?
15. Cash up front.
Deal. If I get married to an American, I wouldn't have to go back to Russia.
Okay, so we should marry.
And you, Anora, take this handsome gentleman.
Vanya, what the fuck?
Ты женился на ней?
What the fuck is going on here? Like, what do you do to get all of this?
I am telling you, you do not know this guy.
Vanya?
It's a frog marriage, and we're getting in an old ASAP.
Anora. So I saw this a couple weeks ago, finally, a few weeks ago. You saw it last night. I'll hit us with the synopsis, and then you go ahead and share your thoughts first, since it's a little more fresh for you. So again, directed by Sean Baker. Anora, a young sex worker from Brooklyn, meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled.
Wow.
What's your review?
All right. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. I wish that more moments, because we do get like a little bit. My friend that I saw this with last night, he likes movies. He's an actor, but he's not like as into it as we are. You know what I mean? And he did not like it very much. He was like, "What the hell?" He's like, "What is this?" He's like, "Why is the scene taking so long?" I'm like, "I know the scene is taking long." So he's like, and the end scene of this completely changed everything I thought about the movie. The last two scenes really made me love the movie.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the last two scenes, I would not have liked the movie as much as I did. Those last two scenes definitely saved it, because the entire time at first, it's a very fun movie. And at first I thought it was going to be a fun, fast paced, kind of crazy film. And I thought it was going to be completely different than what it was, but it lagged a lot in the middle, in my opinion. The entire middle part, I'm like, this is taking way too long for the same repetitive thing. I didn't think it needed all that.
Yeah. For me, because I'm trying to think the middle. Is that the moment when they catch her at the house and they keep fighting and they tie her up, and there's a whole joke about it? And why'd you tape her mouth? And then I'm coming, and that whole section where they're just at the house running around in circles arguing about the same thing.
Yes. And like they could have made that like a little quicker, because everybody's like quick and witty and stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody's a slow talker. Everybody's very like New York. And I'm from New York. My family's from New York. They could have done that scene faster. It would have looked authentic, felt authentic, and it would have cut out 15 minutes from the movie of stuff that we didn't need.
Yeah. Yeah. For a movie that I think is 2 hours, 20 minutes, I want to say. I think, something like that.
So, but I mean, she was amazing in it. She was a fantastic actress. The guy was great. The Russian kid, great. It was great. It was a really good, fun movie. It just, I don't know. The Florida Project like really broke my heart coming from this director. You know what I mean?
I still need to see that one. I really need to see that. Yeah.
Listen, because I had kind of a rough, not like childhood, but my teenage years. You know this with my family. So, I mean, I was in a 1-bedroom with not 9 people. And I just remember doing some stuff that they do in it. And it's really poignant. And it just really hits my heart, that movie. And it's so sad. And it's just like, man, I knew so many people that did shit like that in Florida. And it really hit close to home. And I was just like, this movie's amazing. And it's so real. You know, it just feels so real and authentic. And I love that movie. So when I came into this, I thought it was going to feel a little different for me. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of silly at some points. I was just like, But for the most part, very entertaining. And the last two scenes saved it for me. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I liked it for the most part. I'm not quite, I don't feel like everybody else where it's like, this is the best movie of the year and it's so incredible and probably going to sweep the Oscars and all that. And I mean, I guess if any movie should do it, it's going to be this one. Really Strange Darling, but we know that's not going to happen.
We know it should be Strange Darling. That movie was insane.
But yeah, I liked it all. There's sometimes where I struggle with characters that have an attitude problem that seem a little too like someone I wouldn't like in real life, but then I have to be along on the movie ride with them. Yeah. And I think Anora herself kind of tipped. I like her. I did like her. There's moments where she seemed like she kind of tiptoed the line, but I think by the time we get to the parts where she seems a little too hot-headed, it's earned, Yeah. And, just her and the world she lives in and all that. And you got to be able to take care of yourself. And I do like that aspect of it. Like, it's very believable. I think it's very authentic. And then
The
again,
unlikable,
huh?
the unlikable thing you said, that's exactly what my guy friend said. He was
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
this girl is yelling at these guys who she doesn't even know when they're telling her that her boy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, but she's going to marry this guy in a week and she doesn't know him. Like, when does the line of, smarts start for her? I'm like,
Right.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he pointed out, he's just like, what? No, like, no. And I was like, just, let's just give it a chance and watch it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with that to an extent, But the guy character, I don't even remember his name, but the Russian kid that she marries, it's a similar feeling where I just have
Ivan,
a lot of resentment for rich, wealthy people. So right off the bat, I'm just like annoyed kind of watching it because of that. And that's probably something that's never going to go away in my life. Like, no matter what, I just like have that in me for good reason. And just his attitude and his childishness and all that is anyway. And I agree that when we get to that part in the middle, it does drag on a little. It was like, yeah, they have the humorous moments. It does drag on a little bit. And I did think it was interesting that then the whole other half of the movie is this kind of like day in the life adventure. And I do kind of like this aspect of just trying to find this guy, of just going everywhere and trying to look for him. And I loved the Igor character from the very beginning, the get-go.
Me too. I loved him. He was so great.
Yeah, I feel like if there was anyone in the movie that's like what I would be, it's definitely that guy. Except for the part where we see that he actually is like a badass motherfucker when they're in that ice cream shop with their stupid little friends that are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And they're just like, all right.
like,
And then he starts
these-
like break, or when he like takes the bat out of the kid's hand, you're like, oh, okay. Cause it seems like he's kind of like he didn't even want to be there. He just kind of was along for the ride, and he's trying to be careful and like,
Not step on
how
toes.
he doesn't want to like grab her. He's like, I don't want to do that. But when he has to take the bat away from those guys and like smash the store, you're like, oh, okay. Like he's real. He's a real one. Like he can do some shit. I did like that. And I saw early on, and I mean, I don't think it's any surprise. Like, it's pretty out there in the open, but very early on, I'm like, oh, they're going to fall in love. Like, her and him are going to fall in love for sure. Just like the whole vibe and him trying to be all nice the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I think that entire thing, because I was like, okay, so is this showing like how this bratty little kid with all this money and who has like, who's very well off, and the difference between like wealth, like wealthy people and and poor people, and just how this one guy is trying to take care of her with how he knows how, which is nothing. And that, you know what I mean? I was like, is this trying to like show us something throughout? And, he's supposed to be like, I mean, he kind of was the voice of reason throughout.
Yeah. And he was he was a gentleman, and he was kind of the observer. Again, the guy that like didn't really want to be there and just kind of happened to get called in. And it's the little things like, hey, here's my scarf, here's my jacket, it's good, whatever. Yeah. And I wasn't sure where it was going to go, and I thought there was going to be more to it, like, maybe the kid's really into some bad stuff, or it's going to go dark, it's some gangster shit or some trafficking.
I thought they were going to hunt her down and try to kill her.
I thought it was going to be stuff like that. And I'm actually glad it wasn't that dire. And it literally was what those dudes were trying to say, where they're telling her in that scene in the middle, like, you don't know him. Like, he does this shit all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
You're nothing special. Like, you're flavor of the month right now. That's all you are.
Like, like, this is amazing for you, but for him, this is like another week. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I did like that aspect of when they get to Vegas and she's still fighting for him. That's what's sad is like, and I never got the sense that, oh, it's just about the money. Like, it felt, at least from what I remember, I mean, you saw it yesterday, so maybe you feel differently, but I think she performs it in such a way, or maybe it's written in such a way that I think she does care for him and is loving him. And it's not just about retaining the house and the money, which is probably for me what makes it work more, because in that scene in Vegas, like, she's still kind of trying to fight for him. She's trying to fight for this guy. And then there comes the point. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it is about the money, but it's not just money. It's like who she can be with him. Because now without him, look, she's sitting in the car with some guy that she's like, I don't like this car. It's dumpy. Like, this was her saving grace. This was her way out of everything. So, I mean, maybe she did start to love him because this is the greatest thing that you've ever known to you. Yeah. Like, you're a stripper, you're a prostitute, you know, you're having sex for money. You don't have to do that anymore because somebody's going to sweep you up and save you. Almost like a freaking Pretty Woman situation. So I don't think that she really loved him because the whole thing is like, she doesn't know him. He is like a child. Even at the beginning, he's playing video games around her and she's looking at him like, okay. But I do think that was her meal ticket, but not even like a meal ticket, more so like, I don't know how to explain it. Because, you know, I used to bartend at a strip club. Yeah. So I saw this shirt all the time. And I see like, you know, when people are desperate, they'll do crazy things. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. She never really conveyed that, like her attitude and like the tenacity at which she's trying to get him back. Just seemed like it was more than the money, you know, because if that's ultimately it, it's not like, because she doesn't need him either way. It's just about getting, if it was more about the money, then I feel like she probably would have done a little more in the way of like, all right, buy me out then, pay me X amount, and then I'll do this. Because they were offering that. They only offered 10 grand though.
But
when her ring
I
is
think,
like 80.
But look at her attitude and everything, right? And the way she'll go head to head with them. If it was more about the money early on, if it was purely about that, she would have been like, no, give me $1 million or give me 6 figures, whatever the number is. I don't know. But then I'll sign this shit right now. You don't have to get the parents involved, but give me this much. And maybe they would have bent to it, you know, with how she is. But she was all on board for spending all that time to go find him. That's just how I feel, you know. Of course, she's not going to do it for 10 grand. But I think if it was about the money, she would have settled for something else instead of going through all that trouble.
But the thing is, she's married to him. So it's one of those things like, she doesn't know that this isn't his money. This is all of his parents. Like, she doesn't know at that point that his parents control him. If she would have known that, then I'm sure she would have settled.
Yeah, but didn't they tell her that in that whole scene?
They said, well, I mean, he doesn't say that. So, you know, she's like, no, you guys work for him. Right. You know, she's like a kid. She's like, you guys work for him. We need to find him so he can fire you and you're going to lose your fucking jobs.
Yeah, I thought they said where the money comes from, like when they were still at the house before they got too far. I swore they did, but
they did. But like, of course, she's not going to believe him. Like, why would you? I wouldn't believe. I'd be like, what the hell? And she's also 25. She's a kid. You know, she's not in her 30s. She doesn't have any common sense. I thought the whole thing in this movie was going to be that kid's underage or something.
Oh, really?
Because they're like, this is illegal. I was like, oh shit, the kid is 16. Oh shit, it's gonna turn into like a crazy weird thing. Yeah, I thought that's what it was gonna be because he looks so young.
What about the last 2 scenes saved it for you? Well, I remember the very last scene. When you say last 2 scenes, like what's that first part you're referring to?
The last 2 scenes for me, is when she stands up to his mother and insults him.
Yep.
Because I was like, about time. She's like, take your effing scarf. And I was like, ooh, mwah, chef's kiss.
Because
like,
she was fighting for him all this time.
She was fighting for the money and being part of the family. She's like, it's so nice to be a part of your family. They're like, you're trash. You're not part of this family. Yeah. And then when she realizes like everybody signed, she's like, okay, your son hates you so much that he fucking married a stripper. Right. I was like, I love this.
I like when the father just starts laughing too.
Yeah, like, and he's like, your family's so fucked up. I love that part. Yeah. That part, because I was like, okay, finally, we have a sense of, you know, satisfaction for her because we haven't had that the entire time. This poor girl is like, you know, trying to keep a hold of something that obviously, you know, even the stripper girl at the club was like, this will last a week. Nice try, you know. And then the last scene, obviously, in the car, when he gave her the ring, I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And then I was expecting her to turn to him and be like, do you want to come up for coffee? And then we'd see him walk up the stairs, but she like turned to him and started banging him. And then he tried to kiss her. And then she started crying, like started hitting him and crying. I was just like, oh my gosh.
I wasn't sure, honestly, how to interpret that. And I'm sure there's many ways to go about it. Like, I was expecting it to be a nice little bow where, yeah, maybe he goes in there with her, or okay, they're gonna make out, and then that's gonna be the end of the movie. But then when she starts like riding him, I'm like, all right, that's odd. Sure, I guess. But yeah, when she breaks down and starts crying, like, you know, when she finally lets everything go. So that for me, that's the moment. Like the leading up to it, I don't quite understand the train of thought. Maybe it's just a matter of like that's what she's used to.
I was
and
like,
there's
maybe
some
she's
kind
like,
of
oh,
comfort
he
in
gave me
that.
a ring. He gave me money, so now I have to pay him back with my body. That's what I was thinking. Maybe she's like, oh, well,
Maybe I
gave
didn't.
me
I
this,
didn't.
so now I have to, because she's you know what I mean? So that's
No,
maybe her
I know,
fault.
but I don't know. Even with that, I don't know. I don't know. It may be shit. I don't know. I mean, the actress knows and Sean Baker knows for sure, right? But I definitely didn't take it that way, just given her character up to that point. You know, I don't think she's that weak-minded. And it was a sweet moment though when she like kind of breaks down and finally lets everything like just releases everything, right? Like just has that moment of like, I'm just kind of in the embrace of this dude and I'm just going to let it all out. I've had to be tough and put up this front this whole time. And now I can like finally let it fly. I kind of like that we have like pretty different takes on it, you know, which I mean,
I feel like it's like the male view and the female view. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But even then, like, I feel like, I don't know. I wonder if there's probably more men that feel similar to what your friend felt about
I
it.
think there is. Hold on.
Like I could have easily gone that way, but I think, like I said earlier, I think she performs it in such a way that does make her likable for the most part, like just enough, you know, to where I let some things slide. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%. Okay. I just looked it up. Movie Anora. So she has sex with them. She initiates sex at the end.
Yeah.
As a way to control the situation and maintain her transactional mindset.
Okay.
Stemming from traumatic experience with Ivan's, where she was completely powerless. But by initiating sex, she can regain a sense of agency. But she breaks down in tears when Igor tries to kiss her and makes her question her ability to connect with somebody without a transaction.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But who the fuck is saying that? Just some random internet person?
No,
that's well said and everything for sure. And I think that's sounds about right for sure, you know?
Yeah.
Like that makes sense, I guess, like the layers to
But then he says, but then Sean Baker says he doesn't want to give his opinion on any way because it's taking away from what the intention was, and the intention is to keep it open for.
Yeah, to let you think what you're gonna think. Yeah. Oh, so that was written by Sean Baker?
No, it's on Mashable though, because they're saying about like what are some like could this be, and he's like, I don't want to say it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it works either way. I'm curious to see what kind of award recognition it's going to get for the Oscars, if any. Because dude, there's like nothing. Like the Oscars are going to be so weird this year. Because there's like think back to the year. Like what's it gonna be?
It's been all fucking kind of wild films. You know what I mean? like there hasn't been any.
And even then, like Anora, like that's and no shade or negative energy towards, you know, Sean Baker and the rest of the folks, but like, is that going to be the best we got this year besides Strange Darling, which isn't going to be in the running?
I wish they would. That movie was fantastic. Like, because who won? So Everything Everywhere All at Once won last year, right?
Oppenheimer.
Oh, wait, what am I thinking of? Wait, Oppenheimer won this year, 2024, right?
Well, they're held in the beginning of 2024, but it's for the 2023 year.
Okay, so I'm thinking of
the year before that. I'm
thinking of the year before.
Yeah.
I didn't even want. Oh yeah, and then Ken won that song, the thing. Oh my God, yeah, I remember. So Everything Everywhere All at Once, the year before, Oppenheimer this year, like, and then Anora?
Probably.
Or maybe Nosferatu?
It'll probably get some, like, it's going to get cinematography for sure. And like sound design or editing or some shit. But best picture, I don't know about all that.
Like, I'm trying to even think of who would be.
Yeah, like what are the other movies? It's hard to look. I mean, Dune 2.
Well, would they include Angelina? Did you watch Angelina Jolie's movie? The one that just came out about the opera singer?
No.
It's Maria. But I think it came out on Netflix. I don't think it's on like in the theaters. It's on Netflix. And everybody was losing their shit about it, but I haven't seen that either.
Really? Yeah. Never even heard of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean it's cool though. I mean, I'm down to see a movie like this do well, and someone like Sean Baker continue to come up. I think he's cool and an interesting filmmaker. I still need to see Florida Project and Red Rocket, but I thought Tangerine was all right. It was interesting. Honestly, for me at the time, more probably just like the energy, the kinetic energy of it, and the fact that it was shot on iPhone like drew me in, and just the kind of, again, day in the life, skating around like Los Angeles streets and all that. Takeout was really good. I got that Blu-ray. Takeout, his first movie, is really good.
I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah. Can't remember what else he's done, but those are the ones I know.
Tangerine. Okay, I'm going to watch that. Hooker. Oh, a hooker tears through Tinseltown on Christmas Eve searching for the pimp who broke her heart. Damn. All right.
Yeah. So the guy, and I realized that in Anora, the dude who's like a priest, I guess, or whatever, he's kind of the lead of those dudes. And his car is getting destroyed and shit. He was actually pretty funny.
People are puking in it. Yeah. That was really funny.
I realized that he was the cab driver in Tangerine. They posted like a picture from it, and I was like, "Oh, that's him. He's in it." Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I have too much more to say about this. It is good. It's crazy that it's still in theaters. It's been out for a long time.
I know, and there are people in there, but like, I don't know. I really like Sean Baker's style of showing, I don't know, the stories of the people, I guess you could say. Like following through the eyes of the people,
Yeah, he's very raw, like just a very raw, like type filmmaker and shit. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, people go check it out. I mean, if it's still in theaters, it's worth watching. It's probably one of the best movies of the year. Again, yeah, for me, I know so many people are praising it. It's so amazing, and it is the best movie of the year. I don't feel that strongly about it at all, but it is good, and it is worth checking out for sure.
100%. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for this one. Jeez, I can't speak English anymore.
No more tequila for you, Rudy.
Yeah. All right. That's a wrap, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Drinks and a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks and a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksandamoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.